Segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
And we're back again.
So Frank, have you ever been over to Liberty Memorial, the World War I Museum?
Yes.
Pretty
well,
impressive.
Not since it's been redone, but I mean, it's been many years ago. Yeah, and they decided, you know, we really need to completely renovate this place, so they have.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And of course, both my grandfathers were World War I veterans. My Grandpa Coalson fought in France. And for, again, talking about folks back home, for a boy coming from the mountains of North Carolina and Virginia, first time he'd ever been away, first time he'd ever seen the ocean. And then he found himself on a boat headed over to Europe, or, you know, a ship. And the sea was full of ships. I think he sailed out of New Jersey. And it's just unimaginable. And my Grandpa Bowman, my mother's daddy, was stationed at Gettysburg. He was at Camp Colt. And guess who was the commander at Camp Colt in World War I?
Pershing?
Dwight David Eisenhower.
Oh, really?
So Eisenhower, my grandpa was a coal miner, and he had lung problems and got a medical discharge because of his health. And so Eisenhower signed his discharge papers. So he had to go in and see, and I can't remember what Ike's rank was at that time, if it was a major, or I can't remember. And but yeah, Grandpa's discharge is signed by Eisenhower. So
wow.
Yeah, and I got to share that with Ike's granddaughter, Ann, at the Eisenhower Center a couple of years ago, which was really wonderful. And I know she gets stuff all the time about, you know, somebody who served with her grandpa, you know, but it was really wonderful to be able to share that. So, you know, and I interviewed World War I veterans. I did a story on one in our community who had, again, served in France, and he talked about how hard it was, how people buried pots so they wouldn't have to melt down their pots for ammunition. I mean, it's a really incredible time in world history, and with the popularity of Downton Abbey and a lot of the shows, there's a renewed interest, and the 100th anniversary of World War I. So there's a lot of renewed interest. So visit with us today, the Liberty Memorial, and go in person after you see this. It's phenomenal. A few years ago, my friend Scott Porter, retired colonel and instructor at the Army's Command and General Staff College, asked me to join him in hosting a unique group of tourists. Scott is also a trustee for the Liberty Memorial and World War I Museum, and he had about 200 officers from the United Kingdom coming for a tour. They were expecting Dorothy. Most of those officers were visiting Kansas for the first time, and it was visions of flying monkeys and swirling houses that filled their imaginations. They scoffed that this facility would be worth their time. To their surprise, they found the preeminent World War museum in the world, one offering not only the American experience, but the experience of soldiers throughout. That focus made an impression on more than one foreign officer. Majors Alex West and Dick Taylor, as I recall, were struck by the international scope of the displays. It's not just America in the Great War. Because of the balanced approach in presenting the complex issues, it's meaningful for their countrymen as well. The officers were visiting Fort Leavenworth as part of an exchange program with the UK's equivalent military institution. After weeks of immersion at CGSC, after sharing ideas, doctrine, and tactics, the Brits had the opportunity to explore beyond the walls of the fort, and I had the amazing opportunity to see Liberty Memorial through their eyes.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program, 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.